Hello everyone, my name is Emma and welcome back to the 6th episode of Table for One. I can't believe it's been 6 weeks since I was employed, since I was at school, since everything. But here we are. Basically, if you've never listened to this podcast before, it's a simple concept. I pick 5 topics and I talk about it. But actually today I have so much to say that I might only get through 4, but we'll see. But the creative juices have just been flowing recently. Like I edited 3 shorts. I wrote so much that I might only have time to get through 4 topics, but I just have a lot to say, so I'm like, you know what? It's literally Wednesday. I'm so ahead of the game. I'm all ready to go, so let's just start. I have nothing else to say. Oh no, I do have to say that last week when I was editing the podcast, I noticed that there was a lot of rustling with the headphones because when I get passionate about talking about something, I move around a lot. And it was going all like, can you hear that? So I'm going to try be still. But I don't really know how that's going to go. But we'll see. Because some of these topics, girl, I was laughing to myself writing these topics. In public, by the way, I was giggling. I was having a grand old time. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So, as you might remember from last week, if I said, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know. But I did it, guys. I went to my first improv class on Sunday. And overall, it was really fun. But I need to give you guys every single detail of these 2.5 hours of this class because I swear to God, it was like straight out of a sitcom. Like let me just start. Okay, let me just start. So I walk in, I steal Jolly Ranchers from the front desk, and then I get settled. So I'm the first one there. I'm already drenched in sweat, by the way. Then, one by one, our cast of characters starts pouring into the room, and I realize that this may be the strangest combination of people I've ever witnessed in one room. So, before I even start to tell you about this class, I think I gotta introduce you to our cast. But no names though. Respect. I respect my peeps. So, let's start. And this is in the order of appearance. Just so you guys can just be part of the story too. Okay. So, first we got a 40-something-year-old dude. He plays in a band. He's here because he won some raffle and he got the class for free. And I was like, oh, like, cool. He's like, oh yeah, but my girlfriend actually teaches here. I'm like, well, then you probably could have gotten the class for free anyway, but okay. And how did he even did the girlfriend give him the raffle? Anyway, he's here for free, okay? But then he also said, when I'm on stage, when I'm playing the guitar, I sometimes get nervous, so that the improv's for that too. But he's also there for free. Anyway, then we got another 40-something who's here for the vibes. I don't remember why he's here. He's probably a business marketing tech guy. I don't know. He rides around on those one-wheel scooter things, you put your feet in between the wheel and they go zoom down the street and but they're on the sidewalk, so they kind of almost hit you. That's him. The question is, how many fatalities has he caused? I don't know. Then we got another 40-something who's here because the public speaking class was full. So she was like, I'm actually going to just do improv instead. She likes cheese. She chased a bird on horseback in Bolivia one time. She's like a eco, something like that. She likes our planet. And her kids are basically the same age as me, which, kind of puts it into perspective. Then we have a 30-something who is so funny. When she came in late, and we were in the middle of like a game, and the instructor was speaking to her. He was like, "Oh, you know this game, right?" She's like, "Yeah, I do." They were like speaking as though they've known each other. So I asked her, and apparently she knows him from a few years ago. It was weird. She didn't seem to like that question. I don't know. But she's a journalist and an aunt, or an aunt, whatever you want to say. And then, finally, a young, yeah, I know, around my age, he does stand-up comedy and he does marketing. Those, and of course me, of course. Unemployed and here to have a good time. And that's our cast. Um, this group, these people that I described, is very, I don't even know how to describe it. When in what when in life do you get these kind of people together? Never. When in life will you see a 40-year-old dude in a band, one of them one-wheeled scooter riders who's probably ran over 5 people, a woman who loves cheese, an auntie, a stand-up comedian, and some unemployed but also still beautiful 21-year-old lady in the same room? Like, you know this is gonna be good when you get those group of people together. Did no one ever tell you that when you get a band dude and a cheese lady, magic happens? Anyway, but of course the teacher, he was good, but like low key, he was kind of a catfish, cause so like when you can see who like your instructor is on the site. So in his picture on the site, looks almost nothing like he does in person. Like I actually thought he was like a student at first, but apparently he wasn't. And when he came in, I was like, "Girl, who was you? Like I'm waiting for the guy in the picture who was wearing a suit. You're wearing a sweater." Like I thought my instructor was gonna be like a professional guy, because the guy in the picture was a professional guy, but apparently not. But he came in, he was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "All right." He came in right on time, not a minute early. I like how he thinks. But he also seemed kind of tired, because once he got like settled in and he like did the attendance, he was like, "All right, let's play this game." Oh, okay. And if he was demonstrating something, he was definitely giving like 15%. But since he's like has an improv background, an acting background, like he was still good, you know what I mean. And one of the this kind of shows his vibe, okay? One of the games we played was like a miming activity, and it was like you have to mime something that you like to do. And he was doing it too, and he was pretending to eat a bologna sandwich. I swear to God, he almost fell asleep enjoying his imaginary bologna sandwich. Like, you know when you get tired and you're eating and then the food is so good and then like it puts you to sleep? Yeah, like I swear to God, if he just took like 3 more bites of the sandwich, he would have been out. And then so we had to like mime for like 30 so we had to like mime for like 30 seconds. And then after, one by one, he went around the room like asking people what they're miming. And he tells us first, he goes, "I'm eating a bologna sandwich. It's really good." Oh God, I don't know why it was so funny. And then as people were like telling him what their miming activity was, he was still eating it. Oh, he was thoroughly enjoying the imaginary bologna sandwich. Like, if I can even be like a quarter as into the miming as he is. I think I would be so successful. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh, that wasn't. I haven't even gotten to the stories, girl. This episode is gonna be so. I don't think I'm even gonna get to 4 topics. I'm gonna have to stop at 3. Oh gosh. Okay. So, the first story I want to go to is when we were playing a game. This class was all games, okay? Apparently, we're gonna learn the skills later. I don't know. So, we go around the circle and we have to like say a sentence and then make a cohesive story together. Like maybe I say, once upon a time in a land far, far away, there was a princess. And then the next person would go, and the princess wanted to be free from her evil stepsisters. That's Cinderella, isn't it? I don't know. But the point of this activity wasn't we were supposed to make a cohesive story, like not go off the rails, like see if we could work together, and the instructor kept iterating every time. It's a basic story. We need a beginning, we need a middle, we need an end, and we need a problem and a solution. So pretty simple. Like it's what the activity is to help us, I guess improv while other people are improving. I don't know. So the one story we were doing, it was like about a goat. And he was alone and his mom was getting milk or something. And at this kind of point in the story, the mom should have been like getting back right now and like have the milk. Like the story should have been coming to the end. But then I'm standing next to the one-wheeled scooter guy, and what he should have said was like, then the mom answered the phone of the goat and said, honey, I'm coming back. I don't know. But then he goes, and then Trump came. Babes, our main character is a goat. Why are we getting like political? LOL, like what? So I'm like, bro, does bro not understand the instructions? Anyway, so then I understand the instructions. Well, maybe I'm the one who doesn't understand. I don't know. And he understands. I didn't hear keep making the story political or whatever, but whatever. So, but I try get us back on track. And I go like, oh, then Trump heard the cry of the goat and came to the rescue. Like, I was trying, guys. I had to make Trump a hero for the sake of the story, but you know how it is. This is serious. But then 2 turns later, I was really trying for it. The stand-up guy makes Trump talk into a walkie-talkie to the Secret Service that he's actually going to kill the goat. Can't we just save the goat and get his milk and be finished? Like, that makes more sense that Trump wants to kill the goat instead of help the goat. But, like, can we just finish the story? Like, literally, what is happening? Anyway, so finally that story ends. I mean, that game ends, stay blessed. And I remember at the end of one of these story games, the instructor goes, wasn't that a good story, you guys? And I gave him like a look like, girl, I think you know that if it was a good or a bad story. And like every time we play this game, he was like, guys, you need to have a beginning, a middle, an end, a problem, and a solution. But the scooter guy, it was the scooter guy. I don't know. Oh God. And then another game we played, it was like a debate game. Where there was 3 people on one side, 3 people on the other, and each person had to say one word at a time to form an argument. Or this might have been part of the one-word story game. So it's the same thing, but you each have to say one word. But anyway, let's say it was the forming an argument thing. I don't remember, but same thing. So we did this game for like 2 rounds. One of them of the arguments was daylight savings. That was my idea, period. And another being the environment. I'm just giving you some context about what we were arguing, because You'll see. Um, and I don't know which one of these arguments was actually the story. Doesn't matter. So the other side gives some argument, probably you are wrong. Three people each go like this. It's a great argument. It's funny. And then it's our turn. Okay? I usually started the sentence because I was on the one side, but he started at the other side. The guy in the band, he goes, hacky sack. What? Hacky sack? What? Oh. And I was like, hacky sack? What? And then the teacher, or what, the instructor was like trying to explain to me what a hacky sack was. And I'm like, I know what a hacky sack is, but that is not a sentence starter word. Like, hacky sack is an answer to a question. Like, what was a common toy for only children in the 90s? Hacky sack. Like, it's a sentence start. It's an answer to a question. It's like, like what? And what? Daylight savings, environment, hacky sack? Even if it was part of the story, hacky sack? I was like, what? I don't even remember how I had to keep going with that. But I wasn't even surprised that he said that, because by this point, this guy, the guitar guy, he had been using strange words like the whole class. I swear to God, we were playing like a game where we just like say, like someone says a word and you have to say a word that either relates to the word or doesn't relate to the word, but you have to do it fast. So I don't know what the person said or what we were playing. He turns to me, he goes, chutney. Chutney? I said, what in the hell is chutney? While writing this, I learned it's like an Indian dish. I don't know. Guys, God, I'm not even finished. There's more. How many topics am I going to get through? 2? Seriously. So there was another game where we had to pretend we were at a superhero's funeral. And so this was the first time we were going up like on our own, the whole class. And so we got split into 2 groups of 3. And my group went second. And we got Peter Parker for our superhero, Spider-Man, if you didn't know. Tom Holland, And in my head, I'm like, okay, like this is good. Like, I'm gonna make my mark. Like, I'm gonna show everybody that like I am the improv queen on my own. Like, I don't even need anybody. So in my head, I'm thinking, because like I was going second to go to to speak at the fake funeral. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna recite a poem, but like improv. Like, I'm gonna come up with a poem on the spot about Peter Parker, and it's gonna rhyme, and it's gonna be so funny. And like, I'm quite good at coming up with rhymes on the spot, so I was like, I got this. Like, this is gonna, I'm gonna, what's it? Shut the house down, slay the house down with laughter. You know what I mean? So I start, Peter Parker. And then I kind of freeze. And in my head I go, uh-oh, what the hell rhymes with Parker? Darker? Well, he's not black. So I couldn't think of anything else. So I'm like, well, I have to continue to change my stanza. So I go, Peter Parker, you are awesome. Oh my God. What? Out of all the words I pick, I choose awesome. What rhymes with awesome? Dawsome? Flossom? So now I've said my stanza. Peter Parker, you are awesome. There is nothing you can rhyme with that. At all. So now I'm screwed. So I didn't know what to do. So in the end, this was my poem in full, by the way, in front of the whole class. 6 people. I mean 5. No, 6, including the instructor. I go like this. Peter Parker, you are awesome. Awesome you are, Peter Parker. Oh my God. I really tried. I really did. The rest of the day, I was stewing about this horrific poem that I came up with. It's not even a poem. I I can't even call it that. I don't know what it is. A sentence, basically. When I was stewing, I was thinking I could have just used the word guy. Like guy rhymes with fly and die and sigh. And when I was writing this podcast, I even came up with a poem in like 5 seconds. Listen. Peter Parker, you were a great guy. I'm sorry you had to die. I hope you're having fun in the sky. Unless you went to hell, then I would cry. I was so sweaty at this point. I think maybe I got hit with my own stench and then just blacked out. Because I don't even know what happened. So, my last story, yeah. Yeah, I have a lot more classes of this. I don't have one this coming week because it's Victoria Day weekend, but I do have classes for a long time after, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many times you want me to tell a story, but about this class, but yeah. So my last story. So, after like an hour and a half, we had a 5-minute break, and by this point, I'm in a cold sweat. So, I'm sweating, but my hands are freezing, but my face is red, and I have sweat marks all over my armpits, and I smell terrible, and I'm shaking from the adrenaline of doing some of the greatest performances of my life. That's just the state I'm in during this break, okay? But I want to get to know the journalist girl some more, because I think she's so funny. So I get my granola bar. I kind of shakily get my granola bar, mind you, and then I set out towards the bathrooms. And these bathrooms are like just in the main hallway, right? So they're like each individual stalls, and she's there, standing around. So I go, oh, like, are all the doors locked in the bathroom? She's like, girl, I'm just getting water. Oh, oopsie. I mean, haha. I mean, yeah, haha. So then so that's already embarrassing. I thought she was waiting for the bathroom, but she was just parched. I mean, I'd be parched too if I had her sense of humor. If I was that talented. So so this is when I find out that she's a journalist. And I go, oh, like, gee, like, no wonder why you're so good at improv. Because, like, journalism and, like, is like improv, but, like, writing, I'm just trying to break the ice. And she's like, oh, like, it's actually a lot of research. Like, I'm not really just, like, writing stuff. Oh, right. Totally. Mind you, I smell like pee-pee, and I'm shaking holding this goddamn granola bar, and I can barely see because the lights are so dim. So, yeah. And then we go in to have, like, a conversation. She's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, low-key, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm like, yeah, I just graduated or whatever. She's like, oh, cool. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So then I go to the bathroom, and I come out, and I see everyone standing in the corner at the other end of the hall, like past where our room is. And so I walk over, because these are, like, my only friends, I guess you could call them, or, in this place. And I'm like, OMG, hey, like, why are we all in the corner? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just went back to the room, and then they followed a few seconds later. Side eye? Like, what were you doing all in the corner without me? Why wasn't I invited? Why wasn't I in the conversation? So we already forming cliques that I don't know about? Is 45 the new 14 where we gossip and exclude people? So that was low-key weird. They were all just standing in the corner like I guess in a line towards the corner. It was so weird. Like, yeah, I go in and then they kind of follow suit, and I'm like, like, did you get anyway? It's been almost 30 minutes, okay? Anyway, overall, it was fun. I'm excited to go again. When I got home, I felt so nasty, and I had, like, such a long shower, and I was hyped up on adrenaline for hours afterwards. Yeah, it was so fun, though. It was actually a lot of fun. and gave me all these amazing stories. So next topic, girl. How many? I'm literally only gonna get through 3 topics. I swear. Wait, what's my next topic? Okay. My second topic is. Let me just. Okay. So I was listening to a podcast with Molly Burke, who is blind, and she posts on YouTube about life as a blind woman. She's also from Toronto, so represent. Well, she's actually technically from Oakville, but like to the rest of the world, she's from Toronto, so represent. And so what I found very interesting is that even though she has been legally blind since birth, she lost most of her vision at 14. And yet, she has no visual memory. Even though when she was younger, like, she could see. Like, she was legally blind, but, she could see. She doesn't even remember if she had any visual memory when she could see, which is kind of crazy. But this got me thinking about the strange condition or condition of aphantasia. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's so interesting. And like, she's blind, but this can happen to people who can see as well. So it's the inability to voluntarily visualize mental images. So like, obviously it makes more sense for her because she can't see. I mean, it's kind of weird that she doesn't have any from like the before times, but I think it's even weirder when normal people have this. I don't know. So listen, if I say picture an apple, some people can't see anything. Like, that actually makes no sense to me. So when I picture an apple, like, I see it, but apparently there's 5 stages of aphantasia when I tell you to, for example, about the apple. First one is fully vivid, 3D, bright, like perfect. And like, do I have that? Like, I don't think I'm like fully vivid. Like, I can't reach out to the apple in my head and like crunch it. You know what I mean? The next one is not as detailed, but still vibing. And I feel like that's like normal. One might be hyperphantasia majiki, which is like the opposite, where it's like super detailed. I don't know. I didn't read that much. Wikipedia has too many words and not enough pictures. So maybe number 2 is normal, whatever. Number 3 is the apple, but duller. Maybe everything's a little hazy. Number 4 is just the outline of the apple, which makes no sense to me. Just the outline, but everything else is black. What the hell? And then 5 is just nothing. As in, you literally, you just see black. Like nothing. Like nothing. And black is different to nothing. The way blind people describe seeing nothing is like seeing out of your elbow. Which is so bizarre, but like, yeah, I guess people with aphantasia see nothingness, which is so weird. And I can't comprehend this. Because, like, how do you see things in the world, but not in your head? Like, when I picture an apple, because, like, how do you see an apple in real life, but you can't picture it in your head? But it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I see that when someone tells me to picture an apple, like, I don't see it. Listen, I don't see it at my forehead. I see it like in the back of my head. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Like, the apple is there in my head, but it's not like present. You know what I mean? Like, do people picture also things in the back of their head or the front? That's a whole nother topic. But for people with aphantasia, that's what I'm going to call it. Instead of seeing an apple, you just have the concept of an apple. But that doesn't even make sense because, like, if someone asks you to draw an apple, but you can't see the apple in your head, you can still draw it. But like, how do you know what it looks like? You have the concept somewhere. You just can't pull it forward. But then apparently they can pull it forward because they can draw the apple. It just makes no sense. Just makes no sense. Like, and then I was looking at aphantasia tests and these quizzes online, and it asks you, picture picture this in your head. What do you see? And one of the options says no image at all. You only know you're thinking of the object. What? What? How does that even make any sense? What do you mean you just know you're thinking of it? What? And so, like, going back to Molly Burke to do a big circle, So, obviously, she's blind. But it's interesting that her visual memories from childhood have gone away and she can't picture anything. But what's even crazier is in her dreams, she can taste, smell, hear, and feel, but she can't see. So I wonder if you have aphantasia and you can see, are your dreams visual or are they like Molly Burke's dreams where they're not? Because like if you can't picture anything, can you picture dreams? Oh my god, you can just think about this stuff forever. And then how do people actually get diagnosed for this thing? Because like only you know what you're seeing. So I don't know. It's so confusing. There's this interview someone did with someone with this condition, and they're like, "Oh, like how do you keep yourself, I don't know. How do you do stuff?" She's like, I just pull it through." What? Oh, wait. That might have been when people don't have a dialogue in their head, which is another crazy thing. What do you mean you don't have dialogue going? Like, what do you mean? It's just quiet up there? How do you even come up with an idea when it's quiet? It just spawns? Oh, God. So weird. So weird. I'm finished talking about that topic. And also, check out Molly Burke, because she's awesome, you guys. Toronto, represent. Anyway, well, she lives in LA now, so she a traitor. And she ain't even from Toronto, technically. Next topic. I love British people. Okay, so the lady at my improv class was British, and I'm like, OMG, are you British? She's like, yes, love, I am British. I love the British, you guys. And like a lot of YouTubers I watch are British, and like British people are so funny. And GCN, my biking thing, is British too. And like their videos are just engraved into my head, and like all I hear all day is British, okay? And I love that British people, they just sound so smart. Like it doesn't matter what they even say, because their accent is just so infatuating, it doesn't even matter. They could be like, yeah, love, I went to the shops. You what? You went to Harvard? Like, seriously, like, that's all I hear. They're like, hey, love, I just got some baked beans from Tesco's. You just solved climate change? Like, seriously, that's how I hear British people. And, my dad works for a British guy, and he's a surgeon, so he's already smart. But I have nothing to say about that. He's British, okay? He is British. Anyway, he could be saying all this stuff. I'll be like, oh my god, you are genius. Anyway, and you know what I find British people are good at? From my, super experience. They are really good at mental math. I don't know why. This is just what I've noticed. Like, they can quickly be like, oh, like, 230 people are doing the race, but only about 20% of people are you know, girls. So it's like 20 boys. I mean, 20. See, I can't do it because I'm not British. But they could solve it like that. Or like they're oh yeah, you're born in 1940, you're this age. They could do it quick. What is 1940? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 10, 20, 86? Damn, that is old. And I love their little schoolboy. They all have to wear uniforms in school. Like, dude, they don't have any schools where you don't have to wear uniforms. It's so cute. It's so cute. And it's giving like little posh British children, you know? And, you know, maybe they're smart. Because, like, I don't know how schooling works in the UK, in Britain, in England. Guys, I don't know. But I know they be doing like, they do like the GCSEs and the A levels and the sixth form. I don't know what the frick. And they have like that in first set, second set, bottom set in schooling. I don't know. And they British, so that's already enough. And when they speak, they're so funny. They go, mate. They go, mate. Or they go, inne. They go, oi. Oi, I'm British. They go, oh. I love me some tea and crumpets. And I always, sorry, my accent. And I always quote, I go from GC and they go, it's mentally quite difficult. Like, I love GCN. She goes, oh, gone off too hard. Yeah, gone off too hard. Men on Lloyd's fighting me, going for GC victory. And girl, I keep slipping back into British. They always go, oh, I need to have a think. I just need to have a think. And all these towns in like the UK, or not UK, more like England, they go like this. They go, they go, oh yeah, I'm from, Winchester, Sherford, Like, that's probably a real town. Or, like, they go, oh yeah, I'm from, London, Oxford, Bridgham, Sherford. Just down the street. But I'm joking there, but there's literally there's a town called, Bath. Bath? I hope people are clean there. Wait, wasn't that the town where the bath was invented? Okay, wait. I don't know. But there's like Winchester Castle. Castle? Like, girl, bye. It's too funny. Hey, where are you from? Hey, I'm from, just down the road there. Brightonshire. Ford. Stir. It's so funny. And then, like, even though the UK or London, even though London is pretty multicultural, like, I feel like the British is still there. Kind of unlike Toronto. Like, it's not really that Canadian, but I feel like London is still, like, pretty British. Like, they got the royal family, they got the beans on toast, they got the full English breakfast, and of course, don't even forget the Indian food. Guys, British people love Indian food. I swear, British people love curry. They love an Indian curry. I swear. Maybe they have good Indian food there. I don't know. But what I don't like about the British is that they complain about the weather. And I'm Canadian. I complain about the weather. But they complain about the weather. And for what? For what? There's this viral TikTok, or was this TikTok that went viral. She goes, no one could survive a British winter. I'm sorry, is -1 cold? Because that's like late spring weather to me. Although, I will give them I will give it to them, I could not handle the rain. I bet it rains. I don't know how much it rains there, but it sure rains more than here. Or maybe not. I don't know. But, like, I hate rainy cities. Like, Vancouver. I could never survive Vancouver. I mean, Vancouver is definitely way worse than Britain, but, anyway. But she was speaking as though it actually gets cold there. Like, don't even lie to me, girl. Don't even lie. I was watching the running channel, love. They're British. And their one video, they were running and it started snowing. They go, oh wow, we can see our feet in the snow. Yeah, that's what happens when it snows. Girl, I don't know. But I don't think I could survive a British summer though, because like I've been told there's no air conditioning, and like I could not handle that. Because all these houses were built in like 15 BC. Haven't been changed since. So yeah, British people. Hey, if you're British, give me a call. This made me just think. There was this one guy in my history class, first semester. So September to December 2025. His name was Benedict. Okay. He was British. We had to do tutorials. So we'd all sit in a row in the table, and the teacher would be facing us, and she'd be asking us questions from the readings, and we would answer them. And I would always be sitting next to Benedict. And every time Benedict raises his hands to answer a question, I turn to Benedict, and what do I see? He's reading off of ChatGPT, love! And the teacher's just believing it! Probably because of his British accent. Because I'd believe it too. He said it with such poise and grace because British people are much more well educated than Canadians. He could read off of ChatGPT like it was just coming from his head. I think he even paused sometimes to think before he spoke. It was amazing. I guess I'm only going to have to do 4 topics. Aw, man, my 5th topic was so good, but I'll save it. I'll save it. This one's going to take a long time, too. Guys, I even have topics prepared for next week. How many topics do I have? I have 3. No, I technically have 4 topics for next week already. Oh, my God. Okay. So, my final topic is this. Every 5 years, Canada does the census. Now, I kind of knew about that, but this is my first year actually doing it. But I noticed things, so we're going to talk about it. So this questionnaire is for Statistics Canada, which in theory should help the Canadian government make future decisions. Once again, every 5 years, is that really beneficial? How can you make a decision in, 2030 when the stats are from 2026? Anyway, so when I did my questionnaire, I didn't think much of it. But, of course, I end up on Census Talk and Census Reddit, and people are low-key pissed, which then made me think back to the questionnaire I filled out, and TBH, maybe I'm pissed too? Or I'm confused. I'm confused and angry, okay? So people were randomly assigned the short questionnaire or the long questionnaire. 75% of people got the short one, and 25% of people got the long one. And what I noticed is that a lot of people assigned to the long questionnaire were mad because for either privacy reasons or because of the amount of questions that they asked and kind of how strange the questions were. And then a lot of people assigned the short questionnaire actually wanted the long questionnaire because they wanted to give Canada their data, because then the decision making could be good. Because, they want to be part of the difference, I guess. So since 75% of the population, which is 30 million, because Canada's population is only 40 million, got the short one, let's talk about how these 10 questions? No, it was 16. How these 16 questions will greatly impact the country. Because 30 million people did the short test. Listen. What is Canada asking? Well, technically everyone had these questions and then 25% had more. So this is what Canada needs from everybody. Very important. So they need people's name, phone number, address, birthday, gender, and sex assigned at birth. These days it could be different, but I'm not here to judge. And the big one, who lives with you? Exactly how many people live with you. And you better not get this wrong. And you better know their birthday and their full legal name and their gender and their sex assigned at birth, because it could be different. So you gotta know all of that. And you gotta know, you gotta dig in deep to the requirements of the question, because, if they a student that lives somewhere else, in a dorm, they're actually still living with you. So you gotta know that. And if they did some experimenting in college, you might need to contact them and see if their gender has changed. I'm not here to judge. And then one of the most important ones, are you married? Are you married? Are you single? Are you divorced? Are you trying to get a divorce? How many marriages have you had? Well, they didn't ask that, but So that was just the basic stuff. But now this is where it starts to get a little silly. Do you speak English, French, or other? Please specify. Do you even understand English or French, or do you only understand other? Please specify. I get that the main language of Canada are English and French, but Canada is so multicultural. Can we at least put actual options for languages into the questionnaire instead of just being yeah, other? Just put it in. We don't even want to make it an option. Just type it. We're tired. Are you kidding me? Girl, the population of Toronto and the GTA is 7 million. Canada's population is 40 million, okay? That's over 10% of Canada's entire population. And let me tell you right now, not most, but a lot of people in Toronto do not speak English as their first language. Some of them don't even understand English that much, let alone French, okay? Let alone French. And yet we're still kind of putting them other, which is weird. Because Canada prides itself on, immigration. Because, most people born here want to leave. It's too cold. But it's interesting, I find that. And yet we care so much about French. You know what the population of Quebec, the province, is? 9 million. Wait, did I say Quebec? Province population. Make sure. Yeah, 9 million. Just wanted to make sure I didn't type Quebec City. Okay. So the population of the entire province of Quebec is 9 million. 9. The population of Toronto and the GTA is 7, bro. No one in Canada speaks French. Nobody. Why are we putting French as an option? But not I don't know what people speak. Isn't Brampton mostly Brampton is known to have a lot of Indian people. Can we put that on? I'm not being offensive. I'm being dead serious. And I hate Quebec, bro. I hate that I was forced to learn French for 6 years. And stupid French people from France don't even know how to speak Quebecois French because they're so different. Oh my God. And I guarantee you that if you combine the amount of people who speak, is it Hindi? I think the amount of people who speak Hindi and Mandarin is more than the amount of people who speak French as a first language. For sure. For sure. And yet French is still part of the Canadian. Oh, the French. Do we even remember when Quebec tried to get away from Canada? They thought they could be their own country. Tell me what other country has a whole separate chunk that just speaks a different language and refuses to change? Like, boy, bye. It's interesting. In Quebec, their stop signs say arrête. Arrête. We're French. But in France, they just say stop. I don't know. I feel like that tells you a lot about Quebec. You know what I mean? Like, arrête. I don't know. And this census gets worse because if you don't live in Quebec, because if you live in Quebec, you're special. If you don't live in Quebec, it then asks you, do you attend a French school? What type of French school? French language school or French immersion school? Please specify. How many years did he go to the French school? Guys, if we're asking this much, you know, it sounds a little desperate to me, to be honest. Are they just trying to hold on to the French part of Canada thing, or like as Canada's two language? Please, we want to keep the French because we have two official languages, English and French, and that's never gonna change, except it probably should. And that's the short census for you. That's the test that 30 million Canadians did. Nothing more. And then the other 10 million did that too, plus more. But that's what Statistics Canada needs to freaking know. Very important. Do you speak French? Or are you not even Canadian? Are you an other? Interesting. And so yeah, these are the statistics that Canada will use to make decisions. That's nice. And when I was reading out these, when I was looking at what the questions were, on a PDF at the bottom, it said of the PDF, it says why each question was asked. This will tell us this, and this will tell us that. Don't even lie to me. You're just desperate. You're just desperate because you want to be known as the two languages country with the English and the French, and all the English speakers can speak French because we all have to take French, and yeah. Shouldn't at least 50% of Canadians get the long census? How is Canada supposed to determine average income and all that when barely anyone is taking the long quiz? So I wrote that. They never ask about income. Which, doesn't that seem important? I guess not. It does ask about rent though, which I guess you can make a decision from that. I don't know. It also asks how many bedrooms are in your house, so I'm not sure about that. And anyway, it also asks about commute time, which I feel would be so useful to know, commute time and commute method. But it would make it that a lot more useful if more people did the long quiz. Because let's say 100 people in Toronto got the long quiz. What if those 100 people drive? Then what does that say? Most people in Toronto drive? Oh my god. Guys, I fear Canada has genuinely made a grave mistake. 25% is not a lot. Yet all of the specific data is coming from these 25% of people. I don't know what's happening. And apparently this data is representative of the population, but I don't know about that one. And I don't care how accurate their collection method is, make it 50%. At least. Is this why Canadians are stupid and British people are smart? I don't know. Did they think 25% actually meant half? I wouldn't be surprised. This census debacle is not as stupid as Canada's front of package labels. which I'm very passionate about. I'll talk about that one next week. Because this has gotten me fired up on so many levels. I didn't know Canada was that stupid. But we ain't British, so I'm not surprised. But this podcast has been almost an hour, bro. I gotta save my fifth topic for another day. But that's okay. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. If you have anything you want me to talk about, you could email me, tf1podcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, tf1podcast. And that's basically all. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!